Hello, this is Wes Hickey, Director of the School of Education at the University of Texas at Tyler, and in this Weekly 5 I want to talk about a new test that TEA is proposing or even planning to do in the next 2 to 3 years, which is edTPA. Now certainly developing good teachers is what we do, and even in working with our field supervisors who are working in the clinical teachers and making sure that they understand the nuances of education is very important. And even with the edTPA, they do a lot of the things that we already do. Aspects of planning, the actual instruction, how to handle assessment, all important areas that I think are there. But trying to formalize and make it as part of a test has a lot of areas right there, a lot of characteristics that are going to make it very onerous and difficult overall. You know, one of the things that makes it concerning that we have such a difficult process that we're proposing at this point is even the teacher shortage. Trying to address the teacher shortage is something that we're all trying to do. Many people are becoming districts of innovation to avoid certification processes. But we even look at the idea of our teacher program completers. And you see Texas has kind of gone up and down over time, but we have not instituted edTPA. But if you look at states that have instituted it, you can see a downward spiral in the number of teachers that come through everything because of the onerous nature of edTPA. But really and truly, I don't even know if that's the big part. The actual components of edTPA are not that important to me. It does require doing some planning, it requires having some videos that go with teaching, and it requires aspects of showing how you perform assessment. And none of that really is all that bad in itself. But as we know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and we need to really pay attention to what we're looking at right here. And so when we look at some of the concerns, it is going to create, with the educator preparation programs, a burdensome relationship with districts. Because now when you go in, instead of really working to try to create value, you have certain aspects that have to be videoed and done, and releases made, and extended time to make sure that they get everything that they need to do as a part of this particular dossier that's going to be presented to Pearson at the end of the time. And therefore, all of these things right there make it very difficult that if, especially in the springtime, when you're preparing for tests and various things like that, I can see a lot of districts just saying, hey, we don't want to take any of your clinical teachers at this point. So instead of a partnership in many ways, it becomes something that we have to mandate certain things take place because we have this new requirement with edTPA. The other thing is it definitely increases the financial burden of students. I have students now that for $70, $80 decide they can't go to school the next semester, and we're going to increase the cost not only of the test, which is going to increase a couple of $100s, but to create the infrastructure to be able to carry out the requirements of edTPA is going to increase the cost at the school. And so we put together this overall plan that's going to make it more burdensome financially for our students, and that's never a good thing. The other thing is it's going to create the artificial teacher shortage through incentivizing good people to go somewhere else. Bottom line is, when you create such an onerous process, is that individuals that think that teaching would be a good idea are going to find either another way around to be able to become a teacher, or they're going to decide to go do something else over time. And so we are moving people out of the teaching field because of making this process so difficult. And frankly, we are choosing to give power to testing companies, even at a time where there's a big question as to whether or not these things are worthwhile. There's plenty of evidence that said testing is of limited utility, that it doesn't always indicate whether someone is doing well or not doing well, and trying to make it, put it into these rubrics and this kind of thing is not going to do anything better. And so the benefit I see be very limited, but the cost is very great. And so this doesn't look like this is going to be a good thing for education in the state of Texas. And here at UT Tyler, let us know what we can do. And remember to inspire and educate, be an architect of human potential.